비트코인 투자의 새로운 방향을 제시하고 있는 마이크로 스트래티지의 마이클 세일러, 오늘 만나봅니다. 안녕하세요. LA의 비트시와입니다. 비트코인 하면 마이클 세일러죠. 세계에서 비트코인을 가장 많이 보유하고 있는 기업 마이크로 스트래티지 CEO 마이클 세일러, 지금 연결이 되어 있습니다. 바로 만나보시겠습니다. Hi, Michael. Welcome. Thank you for coming to our show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Well, I can't believe I'm talking to Michael Saylor. I'm a big fan of yours, and I watched actually all of your videos. Hey, I think today's interview will be very special. This is a Korean-speaking channel, and most of our viewers are in Korea. So the crypto investors in Korea are very passionate, and they have study groups, and they, share information and watching my video, and of course all of your videos as well. And did you know that there are Michael Saylor fans in Korea?
I did not know that. No. Okay.
Well, actually,
That's cool.
they are kind of reaching out to me, and they're asking for me to translate things, and I was kind of explaining. Last week, I covered your event, Bitcoin for Corporations, and it was phenomenal.
Nice.
Oh, actually, can you please say hi to your fans in Korea?
Hello. How are you? Thank
Yeah.
you for your support. Especially thank you for supporting Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
Sending my best vibes from America. Keep on Bitcoining.
They'll be very happy. Actually, in Korea, if you look up somebody and who's older than you, we call
Yeah.
형님, meaning big bro. So there are a lot of people calling you Michael 형님, meaning they look up to you. So whatever you have to share, it's influencing a lot of Bitcoiners in Korea. So yeah, and let me kind of share our channel. I have different types of viewers. We actually have some whales watching my channel, but mostly smaller fish like tuna, salmon. Oh, well, mostly like octopus and shrimps, I would say.
Maybe sharks?
Yeah, we may have some sharks. So actually, I'd like to dedicate today's video to the smaller fish, shrimps, because they are the ones who need advice and guidance from you at this very moment, because the market is kind of volatile and some are lost. So that's why I was kind of reaching out to you. So let me start with some personal questions, if that's okay with you.
Okay.
Okay, I know you're a super whale. We all know that. But have you ever been a smaller fish, maybe a shrimp, when you're much younger?
I guess when I first left school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when I remember when I was at MIT, one of the fraternity brothers, he graduated and got a job, and he came back and he parked a Porsche
Oh,
in the driveway of our fraternity house. And I looked down at the car and I thought, oh, it would take like 10 years of hard work and savings, and I still might not be able to afford that car. I thought, if I could ever afford a car like that, then I will have made it.
wow. So
That's what I
Michael
remember.
Saylor was once a shrimp.
Yeah, yeah. And then I graduated and got a job, and I bought a used car, and I drove that to the fraternity house, and I thought I had arrived.
Wow.
Big
Wow. So looking at your investment journey, what made you decide actively investing?
I think when I first started investing, I got very interested in technology companies. So I invested in Amazon and Apple and Facebook and Google and some of the internet companies. And
Mhm.
I suppose I got interested in them after my company came public. I was always a big tech enthusiast.
Yeah, tell me more about your investment in those big tech companies like Amazon and Google. When's this?
I, from the point that I had money to invest, which is after my company came public in '98, I had investments in tech companies, but I got to be pretty heavily invested around between 2008 and 2010.
Wow. Wow.
When I wrote The Mobile Wave, I I saw that the world was going to transform into companies with 1 billion customers like Amazon and Facebook and Google and Apple. And I thought if you can have a digital network with 1 billion customers and you can ship a product or a service down that network via electricity, then that's an unstoppable competitive advantage.
Right.
So I concluded, Amazon was going to defeat the 10,000 smallest retailers because they had one storefront and they could upgrade their storefront instantly every minute of the day. And that's impossible for a physical bricks and mortar store to compete with.
Right.
And the same is true with Apple, where if you have a device in 1 billion people's hands and you can ship a product to it over the weekend, nobody can compete with that. No one else can ship a product to 1 billion people over the weekend for a nickel. And so those are pretty unstoppable franchises at that point.
So from investment point of view, I remember Amazon will drop like over 90% in 2005. But since you started investing, what was the biggest drop that like Amazon or Apple?
Oh, I saw Amazon fall 95%, more than 95%.
Right.
So I was pretty used to that. I saw Amazon fall 95%. I've seen lots of volatility. I saw it fall 80% many times.
Wow, that's crazy.
I think the best investment ideas in the last 30 years, they're dominant digital monopolies that everybody needs, nobody can stop, and very few people understand.
Right.
And Amazon was like that. Apple is like that.
Right.
Google is like that. Facebook is kind of like that. And Bitcoin is like that.
Yes.
They all have the same characteristic. Few people understand it. When few people understand it, but everybody needs it and no one can stop it, that's when to invest.
Right.
You could say today that everybody kind of understands that they need Apple and Google and Facebook and YouTube and Amazon. They understand it today. And so those aren't so good investments anymore because once a few 100 million people agree with you, you're not early. So people disagreed on Apple and Amazon a decade ago, and they were good investments, and they went up by a factor of 20 from there.
Wow.
And people disagree on Bitcoin today, which is why it's a good investment.
Right.
Because if all of the issues were worked out, then it would already be 30, 40, 50 times more expensive.
Wow.
And it wouldn't be controversial, but you would lose 97% of your wealth.
Hey, going back to investment point of view, when you explain about the fundamental of Bitcoin, we get inspirations. But when you look at the price of Bitcoin in our phones, a lot of people are discouraged because price fluctuates. As you might have known, 70% of the crypto investors jumped in last year 2021, meaning they don't really understand. They don't have the experience going through the whole market cycle. So when price of Bitcoin plummets, they panic and they capitulate. So how can they overcome this?
Well, first of all, the question really is, are you investing or are you saving or are you speculating?
Right.
If you're a saver, you're not really investing or taking a risk on a company. You're converting a weak property to a strong property.
Right.
If you're an investor, you have to have at least a 4-year time horizon.
4 years.
Okay. If you're investing in something thinking you'll make money in 4 weeks, you're not really an investor, you're a speculator. Now, if you don't know what you're doing and you're guessing, you're just guessing, you're just betting on black or red, I call that speculation.
Okay.
If you have a methodology, if you have computer programs and you have proprietary algorithms and you have special information that no one else has, you can call yourself a trader. Right? Maybe you're a trader, but either way, you're a trader or you're a speculator, but you're not really an investor. Because if you're an investor, you have a thesis that's going to take years to play out. So I would say that if you're looking at something as an investor and you're not going to hold it for 4 years, you're just speculating, you're gambling over whether the the EPS will beat the numbers that the street expects next Tuesday, right? And nobody knows. It's coin flip. When you're buying Bitcoin, if you understand it, I don't think you're investing, and I don't think you're speculating. I think you're saving. And if you're saving, you're thinking, I'm going to buy it for a decade. And what I would say to people is, if you're not going to hold it for a decade, for 10 years, I wouldn't even hold it for 10 minutes. I think the right way to think of it is, if there's money you need in the next 12 months, you probably should store it in a currency, like a stable currency. If I live in Korea and I have rent coming due in Korean won, then I would hold some cash balances in Korean won.
Right.
If I have money that I wish to save and give to my grandchildren, 10 to 30 years out, or even 100 years out, I want to keep it in my family. Then you should be putting it into a portfolio of property, scarce desirable assets. So property, what is it? Bitcoin is digital property. Otherwise, buy the most valuable land, or you might buy trophy collectibles. Very, Leonardo da Vinci paintings, Picasso, something that is rare and desirable and scarce. If you buy a portfolio of property that is, it's not a company, it's not a currency, it's something that affluent people will find desirable in 10 to 30 years, then that's a saving strategy. If you wish to take risk, if you wish to invest in companies, you're an investor.
Right.
Now you might decide that you think that Apple is undervalued, or Google's going to perform well, or you might invest in a private company.
Right.
Okay, well, the advantage of those things is they generate cash flows, but the disadvantage is they have risk. So if you want to take that risk, you can, but it's not the same as owning a city block in downtown Seoul, Korea. So my answer to anybody would be, don't check the price of it every minute if you're a saver.
Right. Now, let me ask you about some of your events that you had. Bitcoin for Corporations. I attended last year, and it was phenomenal. I had such a good time. And this year, I believe that was the last week, people were very prepared. And I think things are moving faster. From your point of view, what was different from last year's? What was the vibe?
I think everything's smoother. I think that if you noticed, this year we had Coinbase there. I think they said they're up to 73 million customers now.
Wow.
They added 25 million customers in a year or more.
Wow.
Lots of institutional accounts, an avalanche of institutional accounts, and an avalanche of money. We had an investment bank, Jefferies. We had a commercial bank, Silvergate. I think we see a lot more companies coming in the space.
Last week, I saw Everbowl. They are located in California, and then were you in
Adopted
communication
the
with
Bitcoin
them?
standard.
Yeah. Bitcoin standard. Yeah, they just switched. And I hear KPMG now adding Bitcoin and Ethereum on their balance sheet.
KPMG is MicroStrategy's auditor.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
we're
That's why
very
I'm
happy
asking.
to see them do it. We've done business with Deloitte, and the auditors, the accountants are finding that there's massive demand for cryptocurrency related accounting services. So from their point of view, it's a good business decision, but I think it's also their way of signaling to the market that they're very Bitcoin friendly and crypto sophisticated.
Talking about the price of Bitcoin, do you see $1 million Bitcoin in our lifetime?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think that Bitcoin is first going to flip gold, and when it flips gold, it should be about a $500,000 coin asset.
Right.
But I think Bitcoin is also going to replace bond indexes and real estate and other sorts of property investments. And I think there's no reason why it shouldn't go to $100 trillion. That would put it at $5 million a coin. So I definitely think it'll happen. Like the question is really just over what time frame.
Hey, Michael, that was very inspiring. I think we're going to have to rethink about our strategies and investment. So, Michael, thank you so much for your time, and I'll reach out to you again next time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank
And
you.
I wish
Bye-bye now.
everybody the best.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
여러분 어떠셨나요? 도전을 좀 받으셨나요? 많은 도움이 되었기를 바랍니다. 오늘은 마이클 세일러와의 인터뷰를 통해서 투자의 본질에 대해서 살펴보았습니다. 마이클 세일러와 똑같이 할 수는 없겠지만 우리의 투자 전략 한번 고민해보면 어떨까 하는데요. 오늘은 여기서 인사드립니다. 여러분 감사합니다.